and just think outside the box and get the views.
Oscar De La Hoya wastes my time.
Boxing is the best, the purest, the most beautiful sport in the world when the best fight the best.
I mean, I think he should go down and win a title at 160 because he won at 47, 40, 54, 68. Go get 60 and you got to close it all. That's fine.
Us fighters who get in the ring and risk our lives, you know, there's enough pie for everyone to pass around.
When a boxer gets a taste of 7 or 8 figures near the end of his career, Oscar De La Hoya says he will always make a mistake. To cement his reputation, Terence Crawford just climbed the mountain and beat Canelo Alvarez. But, according to De La Hoya, that one made a new huge problem. We'll talk about Oscar's clear warning to Crawford and show why a fight with Charlo is more than just a tough matchup. It's easy to say bad things about something after the fact, but Oscar De La Hoya was one of the few well-known people who said Terence Crawford would beat Canelo Alvarez.
Crawford versus Canelo, which I feel Crawford will win.
Yeah. Okay.
But it'll be a great fight.
Yeah.
In a talk with Ariel Helwani, Oscar said that the result did not surprise him at all. He didn't just pick the winner. He figured out why days before the bell rang.
I've always been impressed with Terence. Yeah.
I
was not surprised at all. I mean, I called it, I don't know how many days before.
De La Hoya, who was known for supporting Canelo for many years, said, "I know Canelo. I know without a doubt what he can and cannot handle.
I know Canelo. I promoted him. I know exactly what he cannot handle and what he can handle, where he looks great and where he doesn't." And Crawford was the perfect opponent or fighter to derail the train. That was the bottom line. You move on Canelo just a little bit, and he gets lost.
He was sure of his call when the Canelo train derailed because he knew something about it. That's also what he's using to tell Crawford what must happen next. It wasn't a guess. A skilled surgeon who knew the fighter's flaws better than anyone else gave him a serious beating. When you hear what he says next, it's important to remember that. What did De La Hoya think was the final flaw? It wasn't about strength or chin. Oscar put it out very well. Canelo gets lost when you move on him a little. He said that Canelo's feet were stuck to the ground, which made him a fixed target for a boxing computer like Crawford.
God, it makes me horny.
Yeah, baby.
To tell you I told you so.
I told you.
I predicted the Canelo Crawford fight like a goddamn fortune teller.
You're the Oracle?
Canelo's feet were cemented on the canvas as he was hitting air. What the f was that? Props to Crawford.
Thank you.
He came up 3 weight classes and fought a beautiful fight.
Good job.
What a great performance.
Did you get what you was looking for?
Like taking candy from a baby.
My candy!
Oscar said again on Clapback Thursday that Crawford was just messing with Canelo and making him look stupid. He shot back that Crawford is older and didn't accept any excuses about Canelo being old.
He just played with Canelo. Made him look silly. And before you start with your shit about Canelo being old, just know that Crawford is older.
I'm too old.
That's not an excuse here. Look, I promoted Canelo's entire career.
Put some respect on it.
And it was a huge flop.
How do you like them acts?
The only real fighters he's faced were Mayweather, Bivol, and Crawford, and they all toyed with him.
This study is very important because it shows the difference between Crawford's skill and Canelo's specific weakness. Crawford won because he took advantage of a very specific weakness in his opponent. However, his next opponent might not have that weakness.
And it'll silence a lot of doubters. Not all of them, but it'll silence a lot of doubters. And he can move on to the next challenge. And then that next challenge is possibly a top 10 in the world.
I think the smaller Charlo could be even more dangerous. The smaller Charlo has speed and fights harder, and he's in your face. It's a great payday for him, and he's obviously he took that into consideration when making the decision. It's going to be a tough task. I mean, 2 weight divisions is historical if he wins, and 2 weight divisions if he loses. He has the perfect excuse. I moved up 2 weight division.
It often turns out to be the best way to beat a certain opponent. There's no getting around this. The tough answer from De La Hoya when Ariel Helwani asked him if Crawford would quit as the champion was no. Why? They'd like 7 or 8 figures now, so he might try something else. This is the biggest problem for Crawford. It's not a punch, a right hook, or a weight class. It's the catch. Oscar said that a boxer will make a few mistakes once they get that big payday late in their career. He has seen this movie before. You're no longer hungry for the title. Instead, you're happy with your bank account. The mistake isn't that they failed to train. When you fight, who you fight, why you fight, and how money can make you feel a little lazy. It changes everything.
Crawford afterwards hinting at maybe retirement. Do you think he retires? No.
Not at all.
Now he's making the big bucks, right?
Well, now he has a taste of 7 figures, you know, 8 figures, whatever it might be. Once you get a taste of that, towards the end of your career, you're gonna make a few mistakes.
The advice that you can follow is to notice when your drive changes from wanting to be great to wanting to make money. That's when you become vulnerable. Take a seat. Terence Crawford, you beat fighting in the face. The phone is going off. Every deal is huge. You think you can't lose. This is the exact time De La Hoya said a fight with Jermel would happen. That mistake is summed up by Charlo. Oscar said it was possible for him to choose the wrong opponent and lose. So why Charlo? Because Charlo is more scary than Canelo. He's not caught off guard. He weighs 154 pounds and has a grudge against someone. He was determined to make up for his loss to Canelo. He stands for the standard trap fight. Fighters who are already looking past him might see this high-risk, hard-to-beat opponent as just another payday.
Hey, what's up, guys? Canelo Charlo, super boring fight. I mean, he just showed up for a paycheck. Canelo, obviously, like I said, on quicksand, throwing bombs. He won easy. But anyway, look, if we want boxing to survive, if we want boxing to thrive, we need super fights, like all the time. Fighters must fight each other. We have to come together. Promoters, Eddie Hearn, Al Heyman, Bob Arum, whoever's out there, let's come together. I'm calling you out. Let's come together. Let's meet the power of the minds and come up with something, because boxing can die. I'm calling you all out. Let's do this.
Crawford has to deal with more than just Charlo's skill. The urge to be careless in this fight since the last one looks so easy. But what about the risk to your health? No need to forget about Jermel. Charlo has already felt what a real super middleweight is like to be strong. After losing to Canelo, Charlo was extremely honest and said that Canelo is a beast that takes advantage of mothers. That might have made me feel that way more because it was my first time in this weight class. He told her he wished he had put on more weight.
I love boxing, so I'm not going nowhere and, just jump right into it. And, Canelo's a motherfucking beast, you know what I'm saying? He an ox. Maybe I felt that more because of the fact that, this is my first time at that weight division. I wish I could have gained a little bit more weight in between from the weigh-in to that time, but I can't control my body and I can't, but like God had this already written. And, I'm glad that I was in there with, to put on the performance for Showtime pay-per-view.
In your perspective, why don't you think he could have stopped Charlo?
No, he could have stopped Charlo. He should have. I mean, first of all, you had a fighter who was there just for the payday, literally. I mean, he's in the biggest stage of his life. Go out there and take some risks. Fight hard. People paid their money. People buy it on pay-per-view. Fight hard, because when you fight hard, you don't lose anything. When it's a great fight, there's no loser.
Charlo's best tool now is the experience she has gained. He has a good idea of how power at 168 feels. Crawford, who started his career at as little as 135 pounds, may have been able to handle Canelo, but Charlo is now used to him. The fact that Charlo told Crawford about Canelo's strength is a clear message to him. You don't know how to use the force you have. It brought Charlo, a super middleweight, down to earth, which makes him much more dangerous the next time around. De La Hoya was very angry about the fight between Canelo and Charlo. He said it was dull and said Charlo was only there for the money and not to take any chances.
This fight, would anybody say that's a 50-50 fight? Canelo got good inside game, but he gonna have to get past Charlo long arms, and Charlo he can use his reach good. He's strong. He got a good jab. It's a toss-up with me.
That's going. Charlo got that punching power. I'm just gonna say that.
I think Charlo's gonna take it. The reason why I say that is because he's just on another level.
But this complaint shows exactly why Charlo so dangerous right now. The big check has already been cashed. It's already made him feel bad to give a passive show. That Charlo won't be the same person who fights Crawford as the one who fought Canelo. He will want to be forgiven so badly that he has nothing to lose and everything to gain. Crawford sometimes has terrible dreams about the risk-taking version of Charlo. Crawford was very smart when he fought Canelo because he took advantage of an opponent who was predictable and caught off guard. Charlo, who is fighting for his career and is desperate and unexpected, is a whole different animal. It's easy to understand. Never think less of an opponent who has been shamed in public before and learned from it.
The elite level. So I think it's a great fight. I just think that the press conferences were freaking lame.
Why?
Just because it was all staged. I mean, come on, guys. Look, if you want to see Canelo pissed off, take a look at my press conference. Right now, with Munguia and Canelo. That's Canelo pissed off.
De La Hoya waste my time with this question.
Yeah, we saw Oscar De La Hoya trying to say that the fight was going to take place maybe in the daytime.
Yeah, this is what I want from you, to say his name. I decide with Dana White to have a breakfast in MGM at 10 a.m. inshallah. Then we will go to the arena to have the fights quick, and after that we will go dinner to Carbon, and in the night we will watch Conjuring because it will launch in September. You waste, Oscar De La Hoya waste my time with this question. Of course, this is in the peak. This is the boxing, the sport #1 in the world. This is Canelo and Crawford.
You need to think about the alternative story that's been growing online. Helped along by sites like Boxing Ego, this argument says that Crawford's whole resume is made up of broken items. People say he beat a bad boxer named Ricky Burns, a 5 feet 5 inches Gamboa who was putting on weight, a Jose Benavidez who had been shot in the leg, a Kell Brook whose eye sockets were broken and left him almost blind, and a Errol Spence who had been in a car accident and had his retina removed. Some even say that the Canelo he beat wasn't fresh and had slowed down. If you agree with this idea, Charlo, who isn't recovering from an injury that could kill him, could be one of the first truly great, healthy, bigger opponents but has ever faced. But let's disprove that idea about damaged goods right now because it's not true. One thing that beats them all is fighting IQ. There was a talk on Reddit that said Canelo only had problems with boxes with higher IQs, like Mayweather, Bivol, and now Bud. This is the truth. Crawford doesn't just win by time. He does so by breaking down his opponent's whole mind. He doesn't just beat fighters. He takes them apart. They use the damaged goods excuse all the time. Crawford's mind is his most powerful weapon, and he would use it against Charlo. The problem is not his resume. It's about whether his IQ can once more help him figure out how to beat an opponent who is naturally bigger, stronger, and more desperate. Oscar said the fight between Canelo and Charlo was dull, right? He did. For sure. During the fight, they only threw one punch, he said.
So, you posted on social media the other day, you're kind of fired up about the Canelo fight. Why didn't you like that fight?
Because it was boring.
What?
I mean, when a fighter throws one punch, when two fighters throw one punch in one round, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, I'm a fighter who has been in there, in the line of fire, throwing 100 punches around. Like, the fans want to be entertained. So that was my critique, is coming from a fighter, coming from a world champion. Yeah, I was bored.
However, Crawford's team would be very wrong to watch that tape and think Charlo is a dull warrior. Why did Charlo fight Canelo that way? Because the power, the stage, and the weight scared him. He wouldn't be afraid to fight Crawford because he sees Crawford as a smaller fighter like him. The dull show was an exception, not the norm. Charlo has a different style that he didn't even try to use against Canelo, as De La Hoya himself said. Instead of the shell-shocked fighter out for money, Crawford would be fighting the real Jermel Charlo, the undisputed champion. That's a terrible mistake to make. What De La Hoya said about money is just the start of the story. The real action is happening outside of the ring, where promoter wars, backstabbing, and billion-dollar cases are making it unsafe for all fighters to work. The ring is directly affected by this drama.
I just look, the fact that a new entity is coming into boxing and already wants to change a bill that has been in place for decades that protects fighters, to me, is shady. That's the bottom line. Think about it. It's shady. The first thing you want to do is change the law, change the rule, the Muhammad Ali Act, which protects the fighters. I instantly think about what they did with the UFC. I instantly think about the UFC signing hundreds, if not thousands of fighters, and they don't even see the light of day. There's total transparency with the bill. You're obligated as a promoter to disclose everything that might be in the pot. The fighters call it the pot. And you're obligated to disclose, the financial status of your event, of the fighter's event. If you're a main event fighter, a championship fighter, you have every right to look at the books. And with this amendment, they're gonna try and eliminate that.
How De La Hoya himself set the tone. He said that the undercard fight between Canelo and Crawford was a waste of money for Turki Allah Shakan, that the matchmakers should be fired.
I thought, I was proud that boxing was on Netflix, just being a purist of the sport. You feel proud. I was not happy with the matchups. What I saw the week of the Canelo fight, they tried doing some contender boxing stuff. You're having precious contenders, right? Who I know can become world champions 3, 4, 5 years down the road. They're getting eliminated and beat. And you're never gonna hear from them again. That's not fair to the fighter. Now, if that's fair business to them, more power to them. Let them build whatever league they're trying to build. It's okay. Boxing here is safe with me and Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren, the serious guys in the sport. The guys who respect the history and the honor that comes with it. You have a global platform, Netflix, Canelo Alvarez versus Terence Crawford. Every fight that a new audience is gonna watch should have been a known name, should have been champion versus champion. The matchup should have been better. I thought it was a slow night, completely a slow night. It was still great for boxing because it's out there and people are watching all over the world, but it left a little bad taste in my mouth.
Bad blood and fights between promoters make for bad undercards, which slows down the sport. De La Hoya also said he was sad that Showtime was leaving boxing, saying it would be bad for the sport but give people new chances.
You met with Bob Arum yesterday. Is there anything you could share about that meeting, what you guys have going during the press conference?
Yeah, there's really no details I can mention, but let's just say that some really big fights are going to happen very soon. And that's why I called out all promoters like Eddie Hearn, like Al Heyman, who's probably going to be impossible to talk to because nobody ever sees him. But we want to bring promoters together to work together and just create and the biggest fights possible for the fans. That's all I want to do, and that's what boxing deserves.
With TKO coming in, Showtime going, and promoters suing each other, there is no one in charge.
I just think that without that rule there, without that clause there, or wiping out the Muhammad Ali Act, the fighter is vulnerable. The fans are not gonna watch real boxing, and real boxing is the best talent that's developed fighting the very best talent. They're never gonna see that because they're gonna eliminate each other in their first fight, second fight, and guess what? If you don't win the second fight, you're gonna be shelved, just like the UFC. does with their fighters.
For a boxer like Crawford, this means that his 8-figure paychecks are now in danger. He might have to take a bad fight like Charlo just to get paid, instead of waiting for the right one. The chaos at work becomes an obstacle to your job.
No one knows his next move.
Right.
And what would you like his next move to be?
I think he should go down and win a title at 160 because he won at 47, 40, 54, 68. Go get 60 and you got to close it off. That's fine.
Yeah. Would you like to see a rematch with Canelo?
Not really.
Okay. What about Canelo, I guess? What would you like to see the future
I
for
don't
him?
know. Canelo can do anything he wants to. He's done so much already. There's really not much left for him to do. So it's really, I think Canelo probably could either take the rematch or close the door because Canelo's done way more than that.
Yeah.
Is Charlo even the right person to fight? Oscar said, no, you also need to look at the shark that's swimming below Crawford. Time is the biggest problem for Crawford. Charlo, Benavides, Boots, and Virgil are the only people he can't fight. He has to choose who to fight every time. He only has 38 years left before these younger, hungry lions take over.
Do you think there's any chance the winner of that fights Terence Crawford? I know he's 168.
Yeah, there's a lot of possibilities.
Because that would be the next massive fight.
Well, absolutely. Right? I mean, imagine that. That would be the next massive fight. But then you have guys who are, the gatekeepers like Fundora.
Yeah.
Who's an amazing champion. I don't know how marketable that fight can be. We have to go through the system. And the system is WBA, WBC, WBO, and IBF. Because fighters, first of all, love fighting for world titles. That's the bottom line. And you cannot erase that history.
But De La Hoya says that he has to face them if he wants to be truly great, even if it means losing that zero. The biggest problem is Crawford's own history. Should he give up everything to be known as truly great, or should he risk it all?